Hey friends, welcome to the Johnson City Living Podcast, where we learn about the people, places, events, and flavors that make Johnson City just a lovely place to live. I'm your host, Colin Johnson, with the Colin and Carly Group and Keller Williams Realty. If you're interested in buying or selling a home in the area, or if you're looking at investing in a rental property, give us a call at 423-930-8003, and we will look forward to helping you. Now, let's get to today's episode. It is a beautiful August day here. Kids are moving into school. We just moved our son Christian in, and we're excited to have school back in. And we're excited to be having the folks from Ashley Academy on the podcast today. And I guess school just started for you guys, right?
It did. We actually, a week. So
Yeah.
We started last Tuesday. Was our first. We're a little delayed from the area schools.
Yeah. Well, Julianne Hurst and Ramona Harr, you guys are with Ashley Academy. Tell me your roles there and what you guys do at Ashley Academy.
I'm the head of school, which I think from a principal perspective for those who would be in a public setting. So just the leadership role and working with the teachers, students as well. And I handle director of enrollment and advancement. So meeting new families, bringing them in for tours, raising funds for the school and for specific projects for our school.
Yeah. Well, we were talking a little bit before we got started, because I've known Ashley Academy. It's been around for a long time. But when you said 46 years, I was like, wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's really
That's exciting.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And we've certainly appreciated just even the start of the school. So it was just a family in the area, the Dr. Dean and Janine Wilson, and had a vision of wanting to offer enrichment in the area. And so they initiated it. And now we're here 46 years later.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. How many kids go to school there?
We're at 174.
174.
We got to know the number, because
Yeah.
if it's 173, we're missing one. We
That's right. We got to fight for it.
Lock it down.
So, which would be a record for the school. So we start with 2 years of age going into now adding ninth grade. So we're starting high school.
So did you say you can start at 2?
At 2 years of age.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
And then you're going all the way to ninth grade.
Yes.
Gotcha. Where do kids funnel out after ninth grade typically with you all?
Actually, they can stay. So this is our first year with ninth grade. We'll add 10th next year, 11th, and 12th.
So we're going the whole way.
We're going the whole
And
way.
I think you said too, you're thinking about a daycare program too. So
So
we'll
our,
go birth to graduation.
that's the plan.
I like it. There you go. Well, it's a good feeder system, right? You're already here. You might as well just keep going to school here.
That's right.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, Johnson City Living. I don't know if you've listened to the podcast. I'm not going to put you on the spot and with that. But what do you love most about Johnson City? Julianne, go first.
Gosh, well, I've lived here now 11 years, just in the area.
Okay.
So transplant
Yeah.
before everyone else transplanted here.
Uh-huh.
I just love the community feel. I've just really loved getting to know the people here.
Uh-huh.
Coming to a place where we didn't have family or anything, and we moved here, and just how we just were able to dive into the community. Ashley Academy was part of that. That's where our son went, and they became our family. And so I think we just have really loved being here, and we just have a really great support system now with friends and the school. And so I think for us, that's just what I love about the Johnson City community.
Yeah, I think I hear that over and over and over. That's our
Yeah.
top answer. We just
Yeah.
heard it on the last one. How about you?
I live in Bristol.
Uh-huh.
And so it's really, even though it can be a drive, coming back about
Ramona, I can help you with that drive. I get rid of that.
Thank you so much.
I'll cut that out.
Thank you very much.
Save you an hour a day.
And that would be, maybe a conversation, but my husband.
No pressure. No
Yeah.
pressure.
And my husband calls himself geographically challenged, that we kind of have family that's lived together. So sorry, but it's
Gotcha.
a good option. I'll keep you in mind.
Okay. Okay.
But
Things
I think
change.
for us, yeah, got it. So for the opportunity of being able to drive, I love the diversity in Johnson City,
Mhm.
and I think that it works well for a home, right? That I spend a lot of time. But the diversity from the medical school for the ETSU, just how it's growing even downtown, just have thoroughly enjoyed getting to appreciate this part of our area.
Yeah, I think, and a lot of people are surprised, I think, I don't know, historically maybe, Tennessee, we wear overalls and, don't know anything. But the area is really, like you said, diverse in the cultural opportunities here. And the med school brings in a lot. The university brings in a lot. The VA is a big part of that. And that's Yeah, and so we've got just a wonderful community that's got a lot of great people in it, and it's thriving and growing. And I'm sure you're seeing lots of new families moving in. I know we're bringing in lots of new people. So, yeah, it's pretty cool, and that's going to only continue to grow and do that. And so, and you're teaching kids all about awesome stuff at your school too.
Yeah, well, and I think that that's the part of the diversity, even for Ashley Academy. So we very welcoming to families from international as well as local. And it's a great learning experience. And so we do enjoy having everyone as a part of our school. But it's back to whether you're doing art or you have your PE, you have, just the creative side we call applied learning. But we're learning to be thinkers. And it's really important for us to problem solve. Yeah.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Like, if your kids are at public school and you're like, we're thinking about making a change or some reason. Tell me why this is just a softball question for you guys, why you would go to Ashley Academy. What's great about it? What do you all do best?
Well, I think, and I can speak from personal because I got a child
kids
live there.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
Had, before I even was employed there, was a parent and had kids. So for me, what I really enjoyed was developing my oldest now, who's in college, into like a critical thinker, not just a test taker filling in the bubbles. He was able to develop those critical thinking skills, outside of the box thinking, that and it's not just an A, B, C, D answer.
Sure.
Maybe it's something else. Maybe there's an X answer. And so I think that's an important skill to have in life as you learn to question and dive deeper into subjects.
Right.
And maybe the answer you see, maybe that's not the real answer. You need to investigate further. So for me, I just have enjoyed watching my kids being able to just expand beyond just the test taking and just be excited about learning. I mean, they have just enjoyed learning and excited about school. They don't fuss too much about, going.
Yeah, because it's fun. You enjoy learning. You make learning fun. Then they're going to want more of that, right?
Yeah. And we always offer, just even our tagline is developing scholars, innovators, leaders. So as Julianne was mentioning, you want to develop those innovative individuals who are willing to critically think. COVID, a perfect example of a problem. We didn't know what to do with it. So we had to adapt very quickly, and you need people to keep their heads about them. There's also an aspect that we work very hard, and that's the leadership area. And leadership, is we're reminding our students, is not about that you're going to be up in front of a large group of people to present, but it really is about acknowledging that there's a need in your community, and a leader takes action. You got to do it, whatever simple act it may be, you make a difference. And we expect that first.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I think that's fun. Would you call it the classical model, since you're teaching people kids learn to love reading or learning, or no?
No.
Gotcha. It's more of
very hands-on. The historical side of Ashley Academy it was Montessori background. So that's whenever it started. The challenge became whenever we were unable to find teachers who were certified to be classified as Montessori. But
I gotcha.
What didn't change was the hands-on component. So we're very involved to say what we're learning in the classroom, how can we produce that? For example, we'll study Jamestown. Well, the students build Jamestown. So they have a fort and they cook outdoors, but it's reminding them what it was to be those early settlers. Whenever we're talking about gem mine, well, they built a gem mine and they had the kids
kind of an immersive experience.
Like the slough, you buy the bags.
So we wanted them to be able to appreciate and learn through doing.
Yes. So I think that's cool, as opposed to just memorizing and no fun. Taking the fun out of it.
Yes.
Taking the fun out of it. Tell me about how you guys did over COVID, because I know that was probably tough.
Yeah. It was a very tough time for everyone in the area, not just for us. It was an interesting time because the start of 2020 is whenever we made the decision that we were going to purchase the building and move to the South Rome side of things. March happened, and that's when, everybody kind of shut down with the schools, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, now we have a new building, and what's going to happen with especially private education? What does that look like for us? And to be honest, in hindsight, that was honestly our savior.
Yeah.
We in the Knob Creek location wouldn't have had the space to be able to spread out.
Yeah.
Once we started, we did start a month late, but we were in school full session. We worked enough space to separate the students. Teachers were great about accommodating. We built some dividers and separators between them and kind of altered our schedule a little bit about where they changed throughout the building. But it really was life-saving for us. So we did survive and thrived, actually, simply because we stayed in session the whole time. Grateful for our parents were appreciative of that, and just a wonderful team of individuals who stuck to it and kept it moving forward.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Tell me something you guys love most about your jobs at Ashley Academy. I know being a principal is a lot. Like I have a buddy who was a principal for a long time, and you guys are just, unbelievable. What you have to deal with is like, you don't even know. I know the people listening don't know unless you're in there.
You're exactly right.
It takes a lot. So thank you for all you do.
Well, for sure.
I appreciate that.
She captains the ship.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, you've got 174 children. You've got how many teachers that you're helping every day?
33.
Yeah. You've got a big team there. That's a lot to take care of.
It is a whole lot. And yet the fun part, and I think that's part reminds me of why I do what I do, because I'm a teacher and somehow ended up in administration. That was not necessarily my goal. Math is my background.
Okay.
And so today was a perfect example that there was a student in the hallway, and she was talking about, hey, how was your day? It was, she was talking about what's a great day, but I've got to do math. I've got math homework. And it was just like, yes, I can help you with math. Let's more And in fact, for that moment, I thought as challenging it was, I know how to handle those. Those are problems I can address versus what you can encounter on a day-to-day basis. So working with the children and just, seeing their excitement and just, they give you energy. And so that's always been the reason why I'm in education. So that's how I get my happy thoughts and pills for the day, to kind of keep going and come back the next
day. For sure.
day.
Yeah.
So it works.
Absolutely. Yeah. For me, what I love is I love the team. I just think it's just a cool, collaborative, environment to be in. And so I don't have an education background. So I was real estate actually for 17 years before this.
Nice.
And so I think for me, I just really love all the different ideas that kind of come in, but for some reason it all works with us together because someone's like, how about this? Oh yeah, we can do this. I love the collaboration of everybody and how we all just really gel and work so well together. Because then we all see what's the end goal, and I think it's such a cool environment because you don't get that everywhere where everyone is kind of knows where we're headed and we're doing it together.
Yeah.
I think that's so fun.
That is fun. Then you get the parents collaborating and it just.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's what we try to teach the students, and we demonstrate that just through our activities as the team from the administrative role, but that of the teachers and how we all work together to kind of come up with a plan. And you're right. Just throwing that out can be really fun. Now we can get some crazy ideas, and it's like, how did we get to this point? And we love it, but that's a wonderful team, right? They come up with a lot of different, diverse ideas.
Yeah, which is fun. And
it's
then unfortunately, you have to go, well, that's not our best idea.
Well, no, let's not say that. We have somebody else that's our little person on her shoulder. Maybe not.
Back off just a little bit. So yes, those individuals of reason.
Yeah,
and it's not always the head of school.
That's good. That's good. Sometimes, that's good.
You gotta have
that's hilarious.
People.
Now, is the board run?
Yes.
Do you guys have a board that oversees the school?
Yeah, exactly. So we do have a board that I report to, and so they help us with the vision, the long-term direction of the school. For example, purchasing a building and saying that
that's a big deal,
ready
right?
for us to move forward. Absolutely.
And you told me you went from how many square feet to how many square feet?
12,000 square feet to 77,000.
77,000 square feet. That's a lot.
Yeah. We laugh about just, and we would love for you to come and visit sometime at the
Yes,
school.
ma'am. I'd love to.
But when you see our auditorium, what we had at Knob Creek, everything. Auditorium. And we laugh about that now. And how are we going to fill this place up? And now we've had some construction this year to make some larger rooms, but then, we're working on that next level. So we've quickly filled it up. But yes, the picture of that scene was hilarious to think, okay, this was us, and now we're here.
Yeah.
Right? So
what does the vision look like going forward? I know you're adding high school.
Yeah.
Are you going to have to build on and do some other stuff to expand to handle all that?
Yeah, well,
hopefully, I guess, right?
where we actually have a section of 14,000 square feet that we've dedicated for our early childhood learning center. So we want to make sure for the need in our community for childcare. But, for our early childhood center, it is the fact of you're also getting PE, you're getting cooking class, you're getting art class, you're getting music class, in addition to the day-to-day teaching academic learn by doing event. And so that's important. And then there's a section dedicated to where we're working for the high school that's building onto it. So that would be the goal, to kind of get ourselves from that 2-year-old through 12th grade.
Yeah, that's fun.
So, and to piggyback on the early childhood, that's a big goal for us because we just expanded. It's a 12-month program now. So they've been in session since June. It's a 7:30 to 5:30 program. So just to accommodate families that are working that need that quality care for their kids. So.
Are you guys year round?
We are not, just our pre-K program, childcare. Yes, and then we do have summer programs that are going on for the K to 8th grade, but for classes start from August till May.
That's cool.
So a good time.
Tell me a little bit about your background. You said you were a teacher. Where'd you grow up?
Yeah. Well, I would have originally from West Virginia.
Okay.
But would have, when my family moved to the Tennessee area, I was in high school. So I went to East High School.
My wife went to East.
Yeah, there you go. I played basketball there and then ended up teaching, again, math, secondary education was my background. So taught there, coached basketball for a while, and then became a mother. And then from there, that's how I got into the independent school experience. So I taught with a private school in Bristol. And was there for several years. And then just changed and came to Ashley Academy. So over 30 years of education, but working with elementary through and even taught some at Northeast State. So kind of into the college level as well, but finding that connection mathematically, but overall the experience of learning and figuring out what developmentally changes from grade level to grade level. It's been fun.
Yeah, that is cool. It's neat to watch. You know, looking back, you're like, oh, there's a hand in all of this. And now here I am, and it's just kind of fun.
Yeah.
I grew up an hour outside of Chicago.
Okay.
So, so don't hold that against me.
I do not.
Moved here about 11.
You're not still there. You
I'm still not there.
And moved south.
Moved here about 11 years ago. And so continued working from home. I worked in real estate transaction and marketing. Did that from home again before it was cool for everybody else to work from home. And so had loved that. For 17 years I did that, and that was great. And then I was helping the school do some things because we just, again, love the school. And then I get a phone call like, hey, would you be interested?
Yeah. Well,
maybe.
Let's talk more about it. Yeah.
So that's pretty much here. So we have loved living here. I mean, it's just like I said, there's
awesome.
No place like it, and just have happy to.
Yeah, we were a part of the private school, Providence, and it's just like a big family, you know, and so. Tell me some of the things that you guys do that are not just school, right? You have like festivals and do kind of all kinds of stuff around the school. Tell like our listeners might be interested in some of those things that you offer as well that kind of bring the whole thing together, right? The parents and students and teachers and all that stuff all the time.
I think for that, we have fall festivals. We would have an auction. There are some actually community events that we would have at school. One of the things that we do even for South Road business owners. So we have monthly meetings for just the businesses in the area, trying to unite them and to do positive things on the South Road side.
Cool. Yeah.
So we want to give to the community work and actually did quite a bit and still do with Tipton Haynes. But during COVID time, that was our community service. We went over and replaced a lot of their fences and things like that, making sure that they were still giving back.
I remember going there as a kid and a parent, and I drove by there the other day, and they're out there playing war or whatever.
Exactly.
It's really fun.
So we have that. We also want to make sure that our field and area is used by some of the local soccer teams. So that we allow them to kind of work. So those would be things beyond the school where we want to offer community outreach, able to share. But I guess book fairs and other things.
And I think the other part is just we want our families involved. I think that's important. I think sometimes, you send your kid to school and you're like, that's it. But it's important for us, our families, to be involved in the school. I mean, that we couldn't thrive without them. We look for them as volunteers. Like if they have connections to the community, does somebody know how to do this? So I think for us, it's important to have them involved because we couldn't do a lot of things we do without them.
Sure.
And we welcome them through our doors. And we love knowing them by name. Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
And it's fun that you get to really know your families. And I think that also helps, with the kids, like, hey, if they're having a bad day, it's such a cool way to like be in a school community that I don't think you would get everywhere.
Yeah. It is special. And it's a little more intimate because what are class sizes like?
Yeah. Well, 15 is our max.
15.
Class 15.
That's it.
Yes. Yeah.
We cut it off.
Yep. Exactly. We do. And I think that's for that very purpose of giving the individual attention.
Sure.
As needed and able to share. So I think that's why we work really hard to maintain that for the closest. And I think that, as we did mention about with the leadership and that character and background side, you're teaching them to be scholars, but it's really important for us to build individuals. And I think that all of us feel that, we're teachers because we don't want to just teach. I don't want to just teach math. You want to teach how to be a good person. How do you become a good leader while you're doing math and while you learn to work hard and stick with it and don't give up on the answer on the work because that's what life is about, right? So teaching them how to deal with problems is important for us, and as well find value in who you are as a person.
It's tough. It's almost like parenting, right? And you guys have the kids more almost sometimes than the parents, and so you've got a lot of work ahead of you for each one of them, and it's a big responsibility. So thank you for. It sounds like you embrace that very heavily and not just take it very lightly or anything like that.
And graduation's that way because whenever they do graduate, you kind of feel
you're like I'm losing a kid.
Yeah. I mean, you hope and frequently they'll stop by and check in from time to time how they're doing, but yes, you do feel like you're losing part of your family.
Yeah, I bet it is sad and special.
It is,
but then you get to watch them go on, and you're like, Talk about do you offer sports opportunities there for some of the people who are listening? You might be like, my kid plays soccer, and I want to, because you did mention soccer.
Yeah.
What are some of the sports that they can play at Ashley Academy?
The sports that we have, and we co-op with some of the area schools. So we do have football, volleyball, basketball for girls and boys, baseball. We have the swim team. We are working with an indoor soccer team, so trying to go through the list. And then club opportunities for those who aren't quite ready to take on the competitive spirit that might happen on a serious team, but I want to learn the sport,
That aren't like super competitive.
That's right.
That want to just kill the other teammates.
So, and back my background, I had played in college and in high school for basketball.
Right.
So the value of sports is, it's extremely important. It teaches you about discipline and teamwork and collaboration and all that together.
Yes.
And you need one another. So we got to make sure that they have that opportunity to live and learn.
Right. And not everybody gets a trophy, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
please. Yes. They do not because... Yes.
You're terrible. You don't get a trophy. Sorry, Johnny, but you're great at art. Whatever it might be. You've got your own gift.
Other areas that you're good at.
That's exactly right. We're going to focus on those.
Well, and I think too with the sports, talking about something that we're looking at this year is trying to start sports as a younger age. It's just building the foundation to see what they're interested in. That's what we were talking about with the clubs. And like introducing different sports throughout the year for our younger students to see, hey, you have an interest without that commitment of being competitive and stuff, just to get an introduction to it.
Do you even feel like this is something you want to pursue?
Yeah. And I think that's just important to expose them to different activities and outside of, just what they're doing in the classroom.
Yeah. Because, if you don't ever play hockey like in Chicago.
Yeah.
You're never going to know. Like, if you don't even pick up a puck, or you're never going to know, right? You just got to give it a shot.
Yeah.
So
sometimes just good to know about the rules and how to play the game. That can help you as you become older and you're 100%. Thinking from a business perspective and why you would say, hey, let's play golf. Those are opportunities that you can learn, but it's also leadership role that you can connect with others, right?
What are some of the things? Yeah, let's talk more about the leadership part of it. How do you develop the kids into leaders that are going to be hopefully great influencers in our area, maybe and in the world? What's kind of that thought process and how you go about that?
Well, part of that connection is just making sure even in school, so our older students are working with the younger students.
That's cool.
We have a house system, so we would call it Griffin Buddies, so the Griffin Code.
Yep.
And so we work with the older and the younger students together so that they help them with different activities. But we also have some of our older students breaking down to do volunteer work, whether it's at lunch and helping to serve there, they're working in the office, they're answering. So internally, we try to find roles for them to fulfill as leader and how you communicate with others and responsibility in showing up.
Yeah.
So that would be one of the specific ways we do it internally.
Yeah. I remember we called it teacher's aides, but I remember being a first grade teacher's aide when I was in high school. I went to University High, kind of similar size,
absolutely.
Very small.
Absolutely.
But it was cool because my brother was 4 years behind me. My sister was like 7. And then so I was in the first grade. So literally I knew every single person in the school when I was a senior. And so I bet that feeling is probably at your school too. Like I bet everybody knows everybody.
Yes.
Which is really kind of cool.
It
you
is.
know,
Yes,
and it provides that family feeling. And I'm sure the bigger kids are watching out for the little ones.
We have safety patrols, so we have our older students and with our pre-K program, they're down there, and it's so fun to see those little pre-Kers have their people, or the 6th graders, their okay, you need to come get little Susie because she doesn't want to go, but you can get her to go. So like you come get her and take her to class. So it's really fun to see them. They embrace that. They love that. Like, wow, I'm important in helping in this area. So it's fun to see.
And we have weekly assemblies. So there's the one time when we as a school come together fully. And, we celebrate successes of the students. But each class is, they have to sign up for presentation.
So
you want to work on that public speaking. There's a topic, but they're standing up in front of a group of individuals. So we want to make sure that they're comfortable with handling that. So that's another area of,
I think that's
learning
huge.
to address with the crowd.
Yeah. Because
even though you don't have that,
it's a little bit of a different game, right? I mean, you're like, you're doing
game.
good in front of your 10 friends or whatever, but you get 100, it's like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. What's something that I haven't asked you? You're like, hey, we should definitely tell you this about Ashley Academy.
Let's talk a little bit about the upper school, high school program, because it's a little bit different than what traditional high school any of us probably would have known.
So for our
like you don't get shoved in a locker or anything.
No. Well, our locker. No, that's not. It hasn't happened yet.
We have like knock on wood.
Maybe that was just somebody else's high school experience.
Great. But what we want is actually having the academic standards, but it's giving the students the opportunity to figure out whether they do a college preparatory or if they're ready to go into a profession. And so along with the credits that's required through the state of Tennessee, and they'll fulfill that. But it's also, we have a pathway program. And the pathway is that each quarter, they're having an opportunity to experience different professions and to say, is this something that I'm interested in? So even for our 9th and 10th graders, even though they're unable to drive yet, but we're going to give them an opportunity for business. So they either work in our accounting office. We have a Griffin gear store that we're starting up so that they're dealing with inventory and cash and that sort of thing. Yeah. Receptionist, answering the phone, being in the classroom with the teachers, being an aide. Do you want to work with children?
Gotcha.
So but then beyond that, we're expressing art. So if I have students that are art, we're connecting them with local business owners to say, can this person, in a sense, shadow you to see what it is in this profession? So that they're able to see if this is something that they would really want to go into. So by the time they would graduate as seniors, ready to go to college, if that's a choice, they have an idea about what they want to do and what they don't want to do.
Right.
And so we help with them. And so that's kind of our goal, back to the leadership role, figuring out who you are, that self-awareness, and that emotional intelligence. I can react and respond without overreacting to things.
I think that's a huge one. I mean, we study emotional intelligence and EQ in our, in our realm a lot because it's really can get you into somebody's heart, and that's where they're really trying. You really want to just connect with people.
Yes.
And I think that's everybody wants to be seen and heard. And I think that's a huge skill. So that's cool that you're teaching that.
Oh, and we work with and remind teachers the same way about knowing our students. And that's not just we know their name, what they're going to, but it is what would be, what makes them scared, what's fearful. So what do they need to work on cognitively? How are they thinking? And how can we encourage them to think outside the box a little bit more? Socially, they're not getting along with others. How do you help them adapt and make those changes? So it's really been invaluable to know who the student is. So it's not just about a reading score or how much math that they can do.
Yeah.
It's important.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It'll be neat to see how you guys continue to develop that. And not everybody wants to go to college, and so I think, and nowadays, man, you can do way better by not going to college and you're not as in debt and you're making money faster. And we need lots of unbelievable tradespeople around too that can build houses.
And I think that's part of this. This is giving the students the opportunity. Maybe they do want to go into trades. And I think it's, instead of saying, oh, I have to go to college, well, maybe let's figure it out now. Maybe that's not the path you want to take, and that's okay. And so it's an exciting
because in our era, we would go to college and you automatically get a job. Like it was just
yes.
And now you're seeing that's just kind of like that's more like a high school degree,
right?
And even now, if you get a master's, maybe, but then you still kind of got to keep going.
And then you may have the debt.
Right. Because somebody's looking at me like, we got like $200,000 we got to pay off. That's not good, And then you're like,
really?
And you're not going to pay me that when I work at Ashley Academy as a teacher?
Right. I'd love to, and you deserve it, but no. I'm sorry. Yes, but it's well deserved.
Yes.
It's just not something that we're able to.
I'm
sorry.
Right. What you're going to do is eat lima beans for the next 10 years, and then you'll be okay. Exactly. Maybe we'll see. Depends on if I live in Bristol and gas is killing me trying to get there every day.
There you go.
Talk to the listeners on how they can connect, find more information, come get a tour maybe with Julianne.
Sure. You can visit ashleyacademy.com and you can fill out an inquiry there. I'll get that and reach out to you. Of course, you can call us. So 423-929-7888. Set up a tour, come visit us. Love bringing people through our school. Teachers love it. I mean, they are used to me like barging in their classrooms, and it's great to share what we do with the community. And when people come for a tour, I always laugh. They always say, "Everyone is so nice here," and I'm like, "Yeah, we are.
We're kind of excited to be here. We're not like,
exactly.
I drove all the way from Bristol."
So yes, come visit us, take a tour again. We 2 years old through 9th. Next year will be 10th. So absolutely, come see what we're about.
That's exciting. Yeah. Well.
And I would toss in one final thing.
Bring it.
We're kind of closing. And one is
the floor.
Is our mascot. And so our mascot is the griffin, right? And it's not because of famous literature and all of that. It really is about the mythical creature, but what it represents. And so for us, the upper half, which is an eagle, king of the birds, but an eagle and its characteristics is that it has vision and it sees wide and long. When you're looking off the hindsight, it is a lion known for its bravery and courage. And so our goal is always to remind the students, make sure that you have vision, you're looking wide and long. And it's going to take a lot of courage to take that on and make sure it gets completed. So that's really important for us to remember that we're the griffins and vision and courageous.
I love it. That's a great ending for our podcast time. Sometimes I hit people with speed rounds, and we got somebody from Bristol, so it's good that you live in Bristol. Real quick, real fast. Where are you getting a pizza in Bristol for our people who love Bristol? If you're going to get a pizza, where are you headed?
I usually I'm taking from Greg's to go here.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Well, that's
so
good.
I take that home. So that's what I'm able to.
Julianne, where's your favorite pizza joint?
From home because from Chicago area, so we make our own. Sorry.
Is it that thick, doughy stuff?
No, that's the touristy, deep, not real Chicago.
Tell me about a traditional Chicago style pizza?
Yes,
I thought that was it.
It is not. That's the
all right,
twist.
educate me.
Well,
hey,
delicious.
I'm
it's
in
not.
Ashley Academy right now.
See, here you go.
Pizza.
So tavern style pizza is the original Chicago. It's real thin cracker crust, cut into little squares. Reasons called tavern pizza. In bars, they would make the pizza and it's cut in squares and put it in. They would, serve it up, let people take little pieces to sober them up, obviously. And so they're just little squares. And so it's tavern
I love thin
style.
crust pizza that's in the square. That's cool. Yeah, Cootie Brown's does that a lot. They're like Cootie Brown's. They cut theirs in squares.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yes, good. That is probably the traditional where you're from. That's what you get. So.
Okay. How about a hamburger, Bristol?
At Five Guys is probably
Five
what
Guys?
I do. Yeah.
Have you been to Tootie's? My father-in-law lives in Bristol.
Yes,
he likes Tootie's.
And I would say Tootie's. I don't get there very often. Okay. But yes, my husband.
Well, you look like you're healthy, so that's why.
Oh, yes. Yeah, exactly. So my husband certainly would be one because he works on that.
Oh my gosh.
It's
so good.
It is good. Yeah. I agree. So thank you for
Granddad took us to Tootie's.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
Where do you get a burger from? At home too?
No, we go out for that. I like if I get a burger. Cooties is good. I like theirs. I don't know. We don't go to a lot of places. So
that's good.
To think about.
Yeah. And then coffee shops. What's your favorite? Do you guys drink coffee? Are you coffee people?
I mean, we have to.
Yeah, we do. So
favorite coffee shop?
Yeah.
Local coffee shop?
Yes, and I'm trying to.
It's coming to her. What's yours?
Yeah. Open Doors. I like Open Doors.
Open Doors.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Oh, last question. What gets you super fired up? Like you're like, whoa, let's go.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
I love it.
Whenever
like
whenever we get together and it's that collaborative spirit, like we're getting ready for an assembly that's coming up and there was ideas and it was just like, let's do this and we're ready to go.
Let's go.
And then they just bounce the ideas. Yeah. So I think I feed off of the fact that when we're in a collaborative mood, it's fun.
It's so fun.
It's just
even yesterday
really
we were a short meeting whiteboard and I was like, yeah, that's it.
That's a good idea.
That's it right there. We were just
you're in charge of that.
So it's fun to be with people, just not to that like appreciate your ideas and while some of our ideas might be like way off the wall, nobody says like you're like you gotta go. You gotta
go.
Good. So it's fun. It's so fun that people hear you. And
I'd fit into those meetings well. Like you'd be like, "What do you think?" Well, we'll put it up.
And they just do it. They put it up.
We'll just put it up there. We'll just put a pin in it. It's up there.
Yeah. I will laugh. There was a moment that I came up with an idea and was working with the directors, and they all forced them to come together to make a decision because they didn't like my decision. So it was great. It was not one other point to say, like, that's a horrible idea.
Yes.
But now we've come together, we have a solution. And that was my contribution.
I love it.
I was able to say that's not what we want to do. So therefore.
So like pet scorpions didn't make it through the rubric. I got you. Okay. That's awesome. So, not everybody gets a scorpion. Sorry.
No. That was
See, I told you, I got great ideas. Just put a pin in it.
Listen, it's fun.
Perfect.
It's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Enjoy it.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast. I enjoyed learning more about Ashley Academy. I'm excited that you guys have a wonderful school right here in our area, and I'm hoping people listen and they learn more about it and bring their kids over there.
Yeah, I would love for them to visit.
It sounds like a wonderful place, and you guys are lovely. So I would hope that they would love to just hang out with you every day.
Yes. And I think it's important to remember we are a choice. We're an option.
Right.
Versus other schools that are all in the area. And I think that's from a business perspective. We want to make sure that we're promoting.
Yes. And I think a lot of people probably are afraid of the tuition talk or whatever, but I'm sure you can walk them through that and you've got plans and programs and scholarships.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Give us an option, at least a conversation.
Exactly. Yeah. And it'll pay off, I'm sure.
Perfect.
I'm sure. Yeah. Well, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Till next time, I'm Colin Johnson with the Colin and Carly Group. If you want to move here and go to Ashley Academy, look me up. We'd love to help you. Carly and I would love to help you buy a house and move here or invest in real estate. I'll come teach at Ashley and teach people how to invest in real estate when they get higher up in the high school.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a great way to build wealth, and we do a lot of property management as well, and we'd love to help you with that as well. So thank you for being a part of our conversation today. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.